Welcome to your next PowerPoint. First, what we'll do is we will go ahead and do a blank presentation. And with our blank presentation, the first slide we have, we're going to go up to the layout, and then we are going to choose blank. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to create a countdown, which you'll see at the very end, but we'll be able to put it together now. So what we'll do is we will go to Insert, over to Word Art, choose whichever one you want, and we're going to put Showtime. Then we can go ahead and make that bigger. Go to Home, go to your font size, and go ahead and make it bigger. Then what we're going to do is we'll click off, Insert, back to Word Art, and again you can choose whichever one you want. This time we're going to put the number 1, and we're going to highlight that number 1. So all I did was click the mouse and drag it over. And we are going to again change the size. And 96 isn't big enough, so I'm going to go pretty big here. If you need to, you can click the outside line of the number. Click and drag it up a little bit. You don't need it this huge, but you get the general idea. And then what you can do is if you click on the outside line here and you right click on it, you can copy, and then wherever you want you can right click, and the first option here for paste, go ahead and paste it. Now you'll have 2 number 1s. We don't want 2 number 1s, but what we're going to do is we're going to highlight and change this to 2. And we should be able to click off of it, right click and paste one more time. Again, highlight and change to number 3, and we'll leave it there. Now you have quite a few numbers here, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spread them out just a little bit. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to put animation to these. So we're going to start with the number 3. I'm going to go up to Animation, and notice we have a down arrow here that will show us all the entrances, emphases, and exits. Go ahead and choose any entrance you want. And then go ahead and add animation. And then we're going to do an emphasis, which is a yellow one. And then we're going to add one more animation, scroll down, pick a red one, which is the exit. Then we're going to click on the 2, go ahead, do the same thing, pick a green one, which is the entrance. Oops. Then we're going to add animation. Make sure you add animation, otherwise you're just replacing what you put in there. And then add animation again, and we will do a red. Right, go through the same process. Entrance. Don't take too much time on this. Just kind of pick them. And the last one. Oop, I gotta add animation. And add animation. And I gotta do the red one. Alright, now, whoops, you'll notice here I have 3 animations for Showtime, 3 animations for 2, and 3 for 3, but I forgot to add more onto the number 1. So I'm going to go ahead and replace this with my entrance. I'm going to add an emphasis, and then I'm going to add a red one. All you need to do is make sure you have 3 for each of them. Oh, that's going to go out of order now. Alright, now because I added those last 2 animations at the end, things are going to end up going out of order. And what's going to happen, it'll go through 3, it'll go through the 2, then, because you notice the numbers here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That shows you that the number 1 will end up coming in after their show time for the last 2 for the emphasis and the exit. And that's not what we want. And if you did it correctly, that's fine. I'm just going to run through and show you what to do if you accidentally did something like this, because we don't want to wipe it out and start over. Up here in the ribbon, you have the animation pane. So you'll notice over here your animation pane opens up. And what we want is after the number 7, you want 11 and 12. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click and I'm going to drag I guess I'll say that better. I'm going to drag, notice how there's a 4.1, a 4.1, and a 4.1. Then you have a green, a yellow, and a red. Remember, the green is entrance, the yellow is emphasis, and the red is exit. Now notice they're all in line. So you have 6, 5, 4, 3. So now everything will be in line. And the nice thing about this animation pane is that you can go through and do changes in here, but we won't do that right now, just so you know it's available. And I'm going to close that, and let's go ahead and take a look. So we have our 3, like I said, that comes up first. And I know it's a little slow. We do have the options of making things a lot quicker. And then you'll notice there's our countdown. Very nice. So now let's go back to the Home tab. And let's add a new slide. Again, because I just clicked on the slide here with the sunshine on it, it adds whatever I made this first slide out to be, or whatever the previous slide is. Since I made it a blank slide, everything after that will be a blank slide unless I choose new slide and tell it exactly what I want. But for right now, I'm going to keep it at blank slide. And we are going to need 5 blank slides. Okay, so you'll notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now click on the slide over here on the left that says number 2. Go to Insert and do your word art. And again, doesn't matter which one you choose. And I'm going to put an S. Again, we can make that big. Remember, you go to the Home tab, change the size, and you click on the A next to it to make it bigger because it only defaults to 96. Very good. And we can do the same thing again. When you this outside line here, I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go to slide 3. I'm going to right click and paste. I'm going to change this letter by highlighting it. So I'm just going to click and drag over it, put the letter H. Then I'm going to click over here on the left to the number 4 slide. I'm going to come over here and right click, and I'm going to go ahead and paste. I'm going to highlight it, put the letter A. Then I'm going to go to the left here and click on the 5th slide. Go over to the right. I'm going to right click and paste. I'm going to highlight that. Put R, and the number 6, I'm going to right click, paste, and put K. So as you can see, now it spells out shark. The reason why I had you do this is so that we can rearrange slides. So if you start going along and you're creating something and you realize, oh, that slide is not in the correct place, or maybe you forgot a slide, or whatever the case may be, you can come in here and you can There's a couple ways to do it, just like what I said before. There's always more than one way to do it. Let's go ahead and click on slide 4. So notice that you're on slide 4 because it kind of highlights the outside here, has a border. So you're going to click and you're going to drag up. And notice the slides kind of push out of the way, and that's fine. So what I'm going to do is just kind of put these in alphabetical order. You go ahead and do that too. Well, actually, no, we're not going to do that yet because there's a faster way to do it. This is just one way to do it. It may take a little while if you have a lot more slides, and you don't really want to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the View tab at the top, and this will make things much faster. So go ahead and do that. Go to the View tab at the top. And notice up here in the ribbon there is a slide sorter. Click on that, and this just kind of makes it a little quicker, a little easier. If you had more slides, you'd be able to see all of them on here. And then you can go ahead and slide things around. So I'm going to take the H and put it up here, and the K, and then the R. Now they're in alphabetical order. Then what we can do is once we're done, or once you're done putting the slides in the correct order that you need them to be, up here on the ribbon, go ahead and click on Normal. And that takes you back to where you were inputting your information. I'm going to go ahead and click down here on our last slide. And then I got to go up here and click on the Home tab. From here, I'm actually going to go to the down arrow where it says New Slide. And I'm going to choose the To Content slide. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Internet. And go ahead and go to the Internet. And we are going to choose a shark picture. Now remember, once you get to the screen for your images, make sure you click on the picture because these little ones up here are just thumbnails. You don't want those. You want to actually go into it. I'm going to right click on it, copy image, shrink that down, and it doesn't matter, just go ahead and right click and paste. And always paste with that first option. Alright, there's our shark. Move our shark up a little bit. With our shark picture, now remember, these boxes you have here, the text boxes, these dotted lines you see, those are just guides. Those are not going to show up when you actually run your presentation. So what we're going to do is, now that we have our picture selected, we're going to go up to Picture Tools to Format, and we're going to go to Picture Effects. Now you'll remember this from Word, Microsoft Word. You have your 3D rotation. Again, I'm going to ask that you use this parallel area here. Right, and then we're going to go back up to Picture Effects, and for shadow, remember we're going to go down the bottom and choose something for that. And there's our picture effect for that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to insert our own text box. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it kind of down here. And just like in Word, we can manipulate it the same way. We're going to go up to the drawing tools. Since we have the text box selected, we have our drawing tools. We're going to go to our shape fill. And I'm going to put black in there. And then we're going to put a word in there. I'm going to go to the Home tab. Make sure that my red is selected. I'm going to right click and I'm going to edit text so I can write in there. And I'm going to put shark. I'm going to highlight my word, make it big. And of course, I'm going to put a chiller on that. and we're going to center it so we can still work with a text box within a PowerPoint. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add some information into this box on the right. We're going to put shark fin soup and shark steak. Okay, that just helps you to know that you can have information, whether it be on the right side or the left, and you can have your picture either on the right side or the left, depending. The next thing I'm going to show you is if we go up to the Insert tab, go all the way over to the right to Audio, go ahead and you can click on Online Audio. And I'm going to put in Shark. And when it pops up for you, I'm just going to do the shark behind you. I'm going to click on it or select it, and I'm going to insert. It might take a little bit for yours to insert, but that's all right. And I'm just going to pull it down here. And you can go ahead and listen to it here if you need to. With it still selected, make sure your sizing handles are right there. I'm going to go up to the audio tools at the top. I'm going to click on playback, and I'm going to play in the background. Then over here, kind of on the left, in the middle here, it says play across slides. Uncheck that. We only want it to play for this slide. Also, we're going to leave it on automatically. And you also have an option here. For right now, because it's checked, it will hide during our presentation. If you don't want it hidden and you want to click on it when the time comes, you can, but we're not going to do that in this video. The other thing I'd like to show you is go ahead and click on your shark. And we're going to go to Animations. Now you're already familiar with the entrance, emphasis, and the exit. We're not going to do that this time. The bar over here on the right, go ahead and slide that down. We're going to click on Custom Path. And once you click on it, you'll get this crossbar here. And you're going to click and drag. When you're done dragging, go ahead and double click. And that is the path that your object will go on. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go up to the Home tab, and where it says New Slide, go ahead and click the down arrow, and we can go ahead and choose the table and content. Now, just like I've said before, there's more than one way to do everything. You have a choice here. We're going to do a diagram, which is the Smart Art. You can either go up to Insert and choose Smart Art, depending on what kind of a layout you have. Or, notice that we have some icons down here. The first row, the last one, is Smart Art. So we can go ahead and click on that. I'm going to go ahead and choose the second row, the second one in. And then we're going to put some information in here. We are going to put Great White. Whoops, I just made it bigger. Great White. If you accidentally hit enter, you can just backspace and it'll take that one away, the extra one that you made. And Tiger. And oops, Hammerhead. Okay, you can go ahead and click off of that, and there is your Smart Art. Okay, let's go ahead and scroll up here on the left side. We're going to scroll up to, let's start with, we can start with A, our number 2 slide.
and you have a tab up here called Transitions. And what it does, like I said before, it's what the slides do in between when it goes from one slide to the next. Again, you can choose whatever one you want. And also remember that if you want to, depending on what presentation you're doing and for who, you can apply it to all. Also, the other thing you can do is you can put a sound to it. It's just a sound it makes from going from one slide to the next. So for instance, I'll put laser there. So if we go over to preview, it makes a sound and it does its little transition. Let's go to the third one. This third slide we have. Go ahead and just pick one, and you can choose a different sound. Again, preview, and there you go for that. Okay, let's head back to our shark one. Now we're going to add some information, but we're not going to add information to the screen or the slide itself. As you're presenting, you might want some notes on this just to remind yourself what maybe more you have to say. Down at the very bottom, when you move your cursor down here between the gray background here and the orangish background here, you'll notice your cursor will turn into two arrows. When your cursor turns into two arrows, go ahead and click and drag up, and that is where your notes area will be. So we're going to put some information in here. We'll put great sense of smell. Okay, so now we have our notes area done. We have a diagram that we put in there, our smart art. We have some animation, we have some transitions, we have our sound, and we have our countdown at the beginning. So what we're going to do now, this is the last thing we're going to do, is we're going to go up to Slideshow, tab at the top, and we're going to go to Rehearse Timings. Go ahead and click on Rehearse Timings. You're going to see a box up here. Once you go ahead and click, 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 and I just want you to keep clicking through. Don't wait too long. What it does is it's recording how quickly you're going through each thing that you've put together. And there's our song, or our music, I should say. And then we have our smart art at the end. Then when you're at the last slide, it's going to ask you, here's your total time. Do you want to save this slide, or this timing? And yes, you do. Make sure you do yes. If you say no, you have to do it again. So we're going to do yes. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go up here again to where it says Slideshow. Go all the way over to the left. Click on From Beginning. Don't click anything else, because from here on out, it should actually go on its own. Okay, I just escaped to get out of it. Now the last thing I want to show you is for the assignment that we're going to do, we're going to do a dinosaur assignment. And what I want you to notice is the lack of information on each slide, and there's a reason for that. You don't put paragraphs on a presentation or a PowerPoint. You don't put a lot of information like a paragraph or sentences. You don't do that. You put the facts. So something like this is what I'm looking for. You're going to go through, you're going to find some dinosaurs, you're going to find their name, how big they were, what they ate, and you'll notice down here in the notes area, you're going to give me the name, or you're going to tell me what the dinosaur name means. Now this is just an example, and at the end, you're going to have some kind of smart art. Here's one example. This is another example. Like I said, you're just giving me the facts. Do not give me paragraphs. I will mark that wrong. Do not give me paragraphs. Here's an example. This would be wrong. I don't need this information. You're not supposed to have a lot of information in PowerPoints. You just need facts. Usually you're the one standing up and presenting something, and that's where the additional information comes. So I just want you to remember not to have all this added information. Also, what you're going to do is you're going to list the size and what they eat. And on the assignment itself, I have on slide 2 that you're to put the word size and the words what they eat. I don't need any specific facts or information on the slide 2. I just fluff it up and put the words on there, because what you're doing is you're saying, okay, audience, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about dinosaurs. All right, that's nice. Slide 2, I'm going to tell you what the dinosaur, what size they were, or are, or whatever, and what they eat. Then you're going to go into your dinosaurs, and then you're going to wrap it up with a summary slide saying, okay, here are some quick facts about them. And that is what I expect for the PowerPoint that you'll present, or that you'll create, not present, that you'll create for the assignment.